Hey, how you guys doing? I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. DJ, stop the beat. First, I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas for everybody that celebrate. But I do have a touching story to bring to you all, okay? Now, rest in peace to Miss Johnson. She was 23 years old. This happened December the 20th at 7:43 a.m. Oh my goodness, she was on her way to work. And the first person that had to see her like this was her father. Her father was in the house. He said he heard pow pow ringing out, which caused him to look outside of their house. He looked outside of the house and he sees his daughter's boyfriend, Carlos. Carlos is 23 years old, okay? So he goes down, Carlos speed off, and he had to witness his own daughter behind her car, face down, in a pool of her own blood. Your own daughter, 23 years old, 5 days before Christmas. Unreal. I know you guys have heard this headline that this man took her out of here with power 15 times. 15 times in the back. And this was somebody that said, I love you. I protect you. I want to be with you forever. You know what? These relationships are dangerous. Especially being in a relationship with these black kings. It is very dangerous. Very dangerous. And I just had to bring you guys this story. I do have the phone lines open, so I would love for you guys to call in because this is a state of emergency. We need to hear from everybody because it happened all too often, and I know you guys have daughters. You have nieces, moms that are in situation with these black kings, and it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Now, just to add you a little bit more to the story with him and her, they were staying with each other for 5 months. He was staying with her 5 months. 5 months they were in this relationship. She did not want to be with him anymore, so she broke things off. He's been texting her and calling her. He said, I'm trying to get back together. And she would not pick up that phone. And that's something that you would tell your daughter or your niece that, hey, ignore him. Shit, I've ignored plenty of niggas before, because you fear if I communicate back with him, then he's going to get a mixed idea like he has hope for something to go, So you try to do the best thing, which is ignore. But you know what I'm thinking too, you guys? When these men call y'all back to back, you got to call the police. You got to start snitching. You got to call and make a record. Say, hey, this Carlos such and such is harassing me. Have it on record. And I know I did it before. I've called the police a few times. And they always tell me, okay, well, if he calls again, if he texts again, you have to notify him that you will contact the authorities if he does it again. And if he does it and call after you notified him that you are calling the authorities and this is harassment, then it's illegal. Then they can do something about it, So you have to notify, and every county is different. Every state is different laws. So you want to look up in your state and figure out what you need to do the best to protect you and your life. This is your life on the line. This is your life on the line. She left this earth at 23 years old. It's no reason. Because you wasn't picking up the texts, you wasn't returning my phone call, and that's why she left this earth? Get out of here. Mm-mm-mm. So, I'm sorry for yelling, y'all. All right, so I also got this story from Leah as well. As you guys know on YouTube, Leah, she's a big force to be reckoned with on here on YouTube. And she tells these stories, and she covered this story as well. So I would like to play some of her footage. And she does have her auntie that is speaking out about this case. And just to give you guys more, what I heard about this situation as well was after the week before he went over her house to take her out of here, she was headed to work. It was 7:30 in the morning. She was headed to work. He knows her schedule. So he popped up and he put 15, bullets in her back. Yeah. And the police asked him, do he have any remorse? Do you know this Black King said, I'd do it again. He said, I'd do it again. He said, I wish I would have got the father too. Yes, he said he wished he would have got her father too. He said, I was trying to make my relationship work, and she kept on ignoring my phone calls. And that's why he did it, but he has no remorse. And he said the reason why he went down, he did turn himself in around 10:30 that morning, they say. He said his mom told him to turn himself in. And it just, okay, and people were like surprised because they like usually the mothers, these black queens, the mothers are the one that's cuddling these black kings and protecting them. For that mom to tell him to turn himself in, if she got that much influence, I was wondering, why couldn't she tell him, don't do that? Don't go out there taking somebody's life out because you want to be in a relationship with them. All right, so let's play it here, and then we're going to answer the phone lines. And I'm sorry, I haven't been looking in the comment section. I'm going to start looking in the comment section right now. Can we please get the likes up, y'all? Please like this video. We are begging for likes. Mental C 365 said he is no king, no shade. I understand he is no king, Mental, but I bet you growing up, how many times have people have called him a black king? Okay? They call all black males black kings. It don't matter. You're a black king. You're a black king. You're a black king. So that's why, some people just call them black kings because that's how the black community identify them as all black kings. How many times you think that somebody have called that Carlos a black king? I'm sure he got called black king plenty of times. So I'm looking in the comments. Oh yeah, I gotta read the comment section. Okay, lady says it's some men that cannot handle rejection. Well, it's a lot of them that cannot handle rejection, and I think it's more deeper to that. True, he lost his title. What was his title? Oh, the title, the Black King. Well, how did he gain his title, Mental? Is he just a black king? So do you earn to be a black king? Because they just giving out black king titles like nothing, and you don't have to earn it, clearly. But anyway, please hit that like button. Yes, thank you. Please hit that like button because I'm still begging for likes on this Christmas day. I have stopped having family dinner with my family to come down to talk to y'all because y'all are my family too. And I'm sorry I had to bring y'all this sad news on this Christmas day. People need to love themselves better to be able to handle rejection and move on. Okay, so let's continue on. I'm going to play
7:48.
Leah's video.
Yeah, she was.
And I do have her whole video in the credit, but I am going to stop and go like I always do. Check this out. This is Mrs. Johnson auntie. The girl that left this her auntie.
Dearly. Beautiful soul, beautiful young lady. And this has been very tragic. I just can't say no more, sir.
Well, Melbourne police just have identified the 23-year-old victim, and the suspect, her boyfriend, turned himself in to authorities just a little bit ago.
Okay, this happened in Florida, just to guys let you know. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Oh, here she goes.
A Florida man is accused of shooting his former girlfriend.
So, yeah, the Florida man, which is her boyfriend, killed his girlfriend 15 times in the back, and this is her.
Which he later did. An investigator on the case said he asked the suspect if he was remorseful. According to reports, her ex-boyfriend told authorities he would do it all over again.
All right, I'm going to fast forward some stuff.
She was an old soul, wise beyond her years, and incredibly beautiful. Sha'Dayla was the type of person you could talk to about.
Look, educated, smart woman, you know. I've seen some people in the comment section, and some guys were in here, and they were saying black women need to be held accountable. Black women need to choose better black men to be with. I'm like, really? Are you really going to blame this on this girl? Yeah, unbelievable. And how about the culture? How about the black community have accountability for these black kings or these black niggas, okay? Do y'all prefer me to call them niggas besides black kings? But it's no accountability. It's just like black women, you just need to pick better men. That's it. It's all your fault. They go upside your head, that's on you because you picked them. Why you picking these niggas then? Why? Why? So something have to change. But please call in.
And everything with. She was a loving daughter, sister, aunt, friend, and cousin. Sha'Dayla was loved well by the lives she encountered and her community. They said she had beauty and brains. She worked in the medical data systems industry, and at this time in her life, she was focused on growing and succeeding. It was said that Sha'Dayla had just got out of a 5-month relationship with a 23-year-old man named Carlos Jones. Reports didn't go much into detail regarding the ins and outs of their relationship. However, Sha'Dayla did decide to call it quits. According to reports, Carlos would stay with Sha'Dayla until the breakup 2 weeks prior during an argument. But even after the breakup, her father said that Carlos had continuously called and harassed Sha'Dayla in efforts to get back with her. But
You see that? He kept calling her and begging her to get back with her. And Carlos, clearly, he didn't have much to go on. He didn't have, I don't know, but he don't even groom himself well. I'm assuming he ain't have a good job or nothing to throw everything out away. She was the one that was doing something. She was the one that was the breadwinner and trying to do something with her life. In 5 months, people like, God damn, 5 months he was that possessed? Man, these men be having issues before getting involved.
Sha'Dayla continued to ignore them. And after several attempts of calls and texts, Carlos decided to pop up at her residence, unannounced, in a rage.
Unannounced and in rage.
Suspect began tossing evidence. Later, they say he confessed to shooting his girlfriend after he tried but failed to get her back.
According to reports, Sha'Dayla was leaving.
You see that? After he tried and failed to get her back. Can you guys please respect people's wishes when they say they don't want to be in this relationship no more? Can y'all stop trying to get these men? Because y'all be the one that be putting a bug in these black kings' ear. What, did you try to get her back? Fight for your girlfriend. Fight for your woman. That is not your woman. She don't want to be with you. She want to better herself. If you love her, allow her space to get away from you. That's true love. But y'all be constantly trying to force these relationships down people's throat. Trying to get these kings to... Nah, you just gonna let her go? She was a good one. Go and get after... No, give her... If she said it's over, then it's over, nigga. But let's continue on.
Work when she was confronted by Carlos, her ex-boyfriend. Carlos arrived to Sha'Dayla's residence at about 7:40 a.m. after waking up in an angry state because she wouldn't answer his texts or calls. While outside her home, Carlos allegedly pulled out a weapon and shot 15 times in the back outside her home. Her father told deputies he saw Carlos in the driveway and then heard several shots. When he went to investigate, he said he found his daughter face down on the carport floor.
Police say that Jones and Johnson exchanged some words.
Can you imagine that father? Can y'all imagine the father? God damn it. Damn. Your baby girl, your daughter, 23 years old, doing so well in life, going to school, going to job. She on her way to work. And this the last time you seen her, and you lose her over a nigga? Come on now. Come on now. My God. Oh, I wish that father would have had a pow ready for his, you know what I'm saying? And I guess it goes to the whole narrative that black women and gotta start carrying that pow because they hunt y'all down left and right. They are coming. They are coming left and right. You hear this story left and right.
Shot 15 times in the back outside her home. Her father told deputies he saw Carlos in the driveway and then heard several shots. When he went to investigate, he said he found his daughter face down on the carport floor.
Police say that Jones and Johnson exchanged some words in her driveway and shot Johnson in the back 15 times. Johnson's father, who was inside of the house at the time, heard the shots ring out. They did recover some clothing from the suspect's apartment complex in a dumpster. They also recovered a weapon, the one they believed was used in this shooting.
When the police and EMS personnel arrived, they found Sha'Dayla attempted life-saving medical attention. However, after she was taken to an area hospital, she was later pronounced deceased. A few hours after the incident, Carlos turned himself in at about 10:30 a.m. at the Palm Bay Police Department. According to reports, Carlos' mother convinced him to turn himself in, and police said he gave a full confession. The report stated that Carlos bought the weapon he allegedly used to harm Sha'Dayla.
Damn, he gave a full confession. Well, at least he was honest, you know? But he said he bought the pow a week prior just for his girlfriend. He bought it for her to take her out. So, you know, it's premeditated. And the reason why he went down to the to turn himself in because his mama told him to.
A week prior to the incident, he allegedly told police he was angry because she would not return any of his messages.
Mr. Jones, I do find probable cause for your arrest. Frankly, I have to determine that you're a danger to the public. So no bond is appropriate.
When asked if he was remorseful for what he had done, Carlos reportedly told police no and said if he had to do it again, he would have killed Sha'Dayla and her father. Carlos Jones was charged with premeditated first-degree murder. He would have killed reportedly told police if he was remorseful.
Look, all over this peanut. All over this peanut. This nut. This nut right here. All over this nut. And he threw his life away. F his life. I don't care about it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all swear, well, what about the Black King life? He in jail. I don't give a damn about, do you? I don't care. I don't care. Y'all always want to throw that in there. I don't care. You know, I care less about him. But I'm going to open these phone lines because I need to hear what y'all got to say about this. I sure do. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. The phone lines are open. Feel free to call in. At this time, we don't have any callers, but I know that's going to change, right? The phone number right up here. I need you guys to get on this line and tell us how you feel about this case right here. This black man shot her 15 times in the back, all because he wanted to be with her. He said if he can't have her, nobody can. Okay, we got a caller. Call in, y'all, for real. Calling from 346, you're live on the air.
Hi, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. I wanted to call in because I'm listening at your show. And, you know, I'm kind of going through something that's similar that happened last week here in Houston, Texas. And, you know, my ex was killed Thursday
I'm sorry to hear
by a
that.
guy that she was dating. And he shot her multiple times in the head. And, you know, it's frustrating to me because I helped her, just like this young lady who was just killed. My condolences go out to the family. I helped her start her company. She had a juicing company, and she was in school. She worked at the hospital. I don't, know this guy, but when we broke up, it was a mutual agreement because I wanted to see her fly. I wanted to see her excel. And, we were still cool. We were still very, very cool. And, it was funny because I was running on the treadmill and I happened to look down at my phone. And when I looked at my phone, a picture that I took of her was on the news feed of YouTube. And I was like, well, why is that picture up there? And when I saw her picture, it said murder-suicide. And it said that she was shot multiple times in the head. Now, what he did was she broke up with him 2 weeks before Thanksgiving because she needed some space. He called her uncle because her uncle was staying with her for a minute. He called her uncle, from what I understand, and told him that he wanted to give him some money. So the uncle was like, okay, well, let me run downstairs, I'm assuming, and let me come meet you at the gate because he wasn't going to let him in the house. But what he didn't know was he was waiting in the parking lot. And while he was waiting in the parking lot, he was watching him. As soon as he went to the gate to go and get the money, he went inside of the house because she worked nights. She worked at the hospital. And I know her. She sleeps heavily. He went inside of the house and he shot her in the back of the head. And it's just like, man, I'm so fucking mad because it's like, I always was telling her I wanted her to be the best that she could be because she had so much potential and she was doing really well for herself. And it's just been a very, very difficult, time for me to deal with this. And I just don't understand these bitch-ass guys, excuse my French, who are emotional, who don't know how to handle themselves as a man. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you. I'm just telling, all the ladies who are listening, men don't want to control you. Great leadership from God allows a man to guide you, and you'll submit to that. No man has the right to control you. Anybody that wants to possess you, wants to tell you what you need to do, where you can go, what you can't go, that's not what men do. And, so I just happened to come across your show and listen to this story, and it just broke my heart just to hear this because I'm already struggling, myself with this. So I send condolences to the family. And, this shit really needs to stop. It really does. It really does. And I just wanted to call in and just say I really, truly am sorry. That's just a terrible thing,
Well, I thank you so much for telling your story. And I'm sure you telling your story have helped so many people right now. And a lot of people can relate because it's happening all too often. Anything else that you would want to say about this?
Yeah, I think that, again, I'm speaking to all my females, a lot of the times, it's not the big details. It's not the big things that a person will do for you. It's the little bitty small things because that's where the devil is. The little bitty small things that you pay attention to that'll tell you, I don't know if this is somebody that I want to do some long term with. I don't know if this is somebody that I actually want to deal with on a personal level to say that we can bond together. You have to ask certain questions. You have to pay attention to certain things because a lot of those things, I hate to say it, they can be the difference in saving your life. And that's all I want to say to you guys. And God bless our family. God bless everybody here. Stay covered. Try to go into 2023 with some positive goals. And, with the right frame of mind. Let God lead you. That's what I've learned to do, because this is really killing me because I loved her. Didn't break up with her because I didn't love her. I broke up with her because I wanted to see her fly, because I was always a person that believed if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I told her, we don't need to, not that we didn't have the money, but we don't need to talk about having kids right now. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of men only do that because they haven't found their purpose. Because real dudes that's really getting up on top of their game don't have all day to be trying to keep up with you. When you finish grinding and I finish grinding, then we'll come together. But if all I'm doing is worrying about what you're doing all day, trying to keep up with you all day, that's not nobody you need to be dating or need to be dealing with, period. Because all of those things say stalker. That's all it says. So if that helps somebody, if it gives you a tip, hopefully that it will. And keep doing what you're doing. I like your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to let him go. Let's go to the next caller. Calling from 215. You're live on the air.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm okay. This story really saddens me. All I want to say is that we raise our kings, and I put in the comments, I'm Mental C365. We raise our children. We see them as princes and princesses when they're born. We hopefully raise them up to be kings and queens. However, each child develops their own personality. When they get older, they change their minds, they change their ways, they make decisions that we have no control over. Someone said in the comments we need to choose better people that we deal with. You won't know until you get to know them. Sometimes we have to start with ourselves and not give so much all the time. And even when we don't do that, because I've been in this situation, okay, I'm still alive. You feel me? But we don't really know them when we first meet them. Sometimes it takes months to really get to know them and see how they are. We just have to be very, very mindful, very, very careful, and just pray, my God, just pray that nothing like this ever happens again. But unfortunately, we're going to see it. And I'm sorry if I'm getting emotional, but I've never called into a show before. This just popped up, and it's hurtful. So, fathers, be a better role model for your daughters. Show them the type of men that they should be around, or choose, or just be loving, be caring with your kids, because it's so much out here today, you just don't know what's going to happen. I'm sorry. I just had to call in and say that.
Well, I'm glad you called in. And you know what? On this type of situation, we need emotion. We need somebody to care. We need that. We don't need to be insensitive to this type of situation. I would hate these situations come about and we don't feel anything. We have no emotion. And that's the way we're headed. Because it is being desensitized and nobody cares anymore. It's just, it's another black girl gone. Who cares? And, you touched on an interesting point. You said black men be better fathers. She had a good father. Her father was there. Her father had to witness this. He saw his daughter face down in her own blood. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Yeah, but it goes for the men too. You got to show your sons. You know what I'm saying? If you're not involved, and I know it's situations where the parents don't know how to co-parent, and the child is kept from the father, may it be female or male child. But somewhere we got to draw the line and put our personal emotions to the side and raise our kids better, or if we notice something, say something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the last caller said, you can't control, certain situations, but damn, we got to do something somewhere. It's got to change.
And did you get this? The boy, the 23-year-old man, I'm sorry, he not no boy, he a man. The 23-year-old man said if he could do it over again, he would, and he would kill her father as well.
Yeah, he's clearly, he done lost his damn mind.
I think the father
He lost it.
was another big factor that woke his daughter up and say, this is not the man you need to be with. And that's why
Exactly.
he wanted to take the father out. He wished,
Yep.
he said, if I can do it again, I would definitely take the father out too.
I don't deny that he was there for his daughter, her father. I don't deny that at all. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why this crazy fool wanted to take him and her out, because her father knew what she needed. I'm quite sure he had some something to say about the situation and to help guide her. But that fool that did this, he was nuts. And I'm going to let someone else talk. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, we're going to go in. Please, you guys got to call in. This is your community. Call in, weigh in. Let us know. Let us hear your voice. Calling from 615. You're live on the air.
How you doing, Miss Gigi? This is Afro.
Talk to me. How's it going?
It's going good. This story, I listened to the story. It reminds me of a story that happened back in the 80s. There was a lady named Tracy Thurman. She married a guy that was older than her, had a kid with him. He was laying paws on her. She got tired. She left. She put restraining orders on him. Till it came to the point where he did some damage to her, left her disfigured, left her messed up to the point where she has to use walkers and canes to walk. And she sued the city and the police department because the restraining orders didn't work. And I look at this person that y'all talk about, and it takes me back with some of these females, not all females, but some of these females asking for men like this. And I look at it, it's like y'all keep asking for bad boys. Y'all keep asking for brothers like this. It's like, do you know y'all making not yourself look bad, but every woman look bad when you ask for people like this? This brother, he don't deserve freedom. He don't deserve to live in society. We got to wake up and realize that we don't know who you messing with. You can sit there and, oh, he's a good person, she's a good person. They can put on that act all day, but you still don't know who's behind that mask they put on. You don't.
Okay,
You don't know who's
so
behind the
a lot of people is cool with you, but they said, you lost them when you saying females, and when females are asking for dudes like this. Who is asking for dudes like this?
Some females. I ain't say all females. Some females.
What type of women are asking for men like this? Because I'm sure the majority are not asking for men like this. So can you label it down to the type of women that you have experience with, that you say, you know what, in my experience, this is the type of women that prefer a rough prison neck man?
Yeah, like to me, it was an experience I dealt with where I came across some females where they wanted men like this to put paws on them.
So they said, I want you to hit me.
Yeah, and I'm one of them brothers.
Can you please, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can you please can you walk us through that story? Because a lot of us have not heard, okay, a woman you with just say, hit me. Like, how did that conversation even come about? Can you walk us through it?
Yeah. Like, most of the females I've met, I can talk to them about anything. They talk about their relationships, and they'll bring up, oh, I want a man that will put paws on me. Oh, I like that type of stuff. And then to me, in my mind, it's like, you know what? I don't like that because that's asking for something that I'm not about. And that sounds like something way out of line to be asking for. I'm not saying every woman's like that, but some women do ask for men like this to be hair paws put on them. And I'm looking and saying, why?
Okay, so you
I'm sorry
said that I'm just trying to understand. You're saying that you were talking to a few women in your time, and they say, you know what, I want a man to check me and put paws on me. And it sounds like to me that they fetishize off of abusive men. It's a fetish. Is that what you're saying? They get turned
pretty
on?
much, yes.
So it's a fetish
Yes,
for
ma'am.
those individuals. But the majority
Yeah.
of women don't have those type of fetishes. I think it only limits down to a small percentage of those girls that have that. And I don't know what to say, but wow. But I'm glad you opt out of it. I'm glad you say, hey, you know what? You need to have some self-respect for yourself. You need to have some values and some damn standards because you don't have none. You should have hung up on her ass at that. Go get some help.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll drag your ass and
Yeah.
get some counseling. How about that?
Yeah. And for the people in chat, I am not lying. There are ones that I've talked to that are like that. And I don't know why. They need therapists. They need Dr. Phil. They need some Jesus. Hallelujah. But thank you, Miss Gigi.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So what are your thoughts with that? He brought up an interesting conversation. Women that fetishize about a man putting paws on them, are they making it harder for every other woman out here? Do you think so? Do you think not? I don't know. I think that these men that's putting paws on women, they don't care about no damn fetish. They don't do it to please the woman. They do it because they have issues, because they want control. They want possession. What this man did right here, 15 shots, it have nothing to do with no fetish and nothing like that. But call in. We want to hear all sides. How you feel about this, please. Your voice matters. Calling from 111. You're live on the air. 111. 111. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't. I really can hear you a little bit.
Can you hear me
Can
now?
you hear me now? Yes.
Okay, talk to me.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm holding on. Just catching up with all this. Well, Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry Christmas.
As far as the situation, it's a shame, and I find that a lot of these guys are more or less, they're really emotional. These days they're very, very emotional. So whereas, they can't take pressure, anything, like they don't want to take accountability for, the things that they do. And it's like, well, I can't have you, can't nobody else have you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they need to kind of like.
You should have hung up on her ass at that. Go get some help. Hello? Can you turn the radio off? And I see a lot of people in the chat talking about women love for a man to put paws on them. Should we turn that into a topic? And feel free to call in and talk about it. But go ahead.
Okay, so as I was saying there, he let his emotions get the best of him, which he shouldn't have. That she's a beautiful young lady, and she didn't deserve that. But these men are like, I want to say this. I don't want to say it because the way they started changing the wear from the big clothes to the skinny jeans, whatever. But it's like they're not, as humble and gentle, gentlemen as they used to be, back in my younger days, I'm gonna say. And she didn't deserve that. I feel bad for her father because that's horrible. But I will say when I will say this as far as like the women go. I'm not going to I've known people who have had women, that have been very, very, controlling as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you so much for calling in. You guys, please call in. So I'm looking in the comment section, and people are blaming it on emotional men. They said these men are too emotional. I think that's a tricky road to continue to label these men as emotion and keep saying that emotion is the cause for men to do this to women. I think it's the wrong verbiage. They say women are emotional, but even though women are emotional, they not out here taking out men come on. Do you hear women out here pound these men left and right like this? So emotion, that cannot just be labeled. Okay, you're emotional. That's why you're doing it's something deeper. I cannot get with the verbiage, the agenda that's being pushed. Men are emotional. That's why they're taking out women left and right. It got to be another word for it. It has to be something else. Because humans, we all emotional, but we all are not pound. Maybe you want to say they lose control over it. They cannot control their emotions. I don't know. But just label it emotional, I don't know. Call me. Sorry, cough. Please call in. Calling from 872. You're live on the air. Hello, 872?
872?
Yeah, that's you. Can you turn the radio off, please?
Hello?
Yes?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very good. I just asked you, can you turn the TV or the radio in the background off, the show? Can you turn that off so we can just talk?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to start off by saying Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To everyone. I just noticed, I just came on and I saw this topic. What's really sad about this is that we are getting taken out by our own black men. And it is sad that this is happening over and over and over and over again. This is an epidemic of our own men taking us out. I feel so sorry for her because being young, being black, and being killed by the hands of a black man, I don't understand why our black men do this to their black women. It hurts bad because being a black woman and seeing this, it makes me be afraid to even date. I don't even want to date anyone. I don't know who I'm getting myself into. I don't know if he's a serial killer, what is on his mind. You don't know. I don't care if you know a person for 100 years. You don't know what someone's thinking day to day. So I feel like this, if he has this type of intention, this is what he's been planning from day one.
All right. You feel like this is what he planned from day one. Okay, well, I thank you for calling in and giving us your thoughts. We are asking for you guys to call in. We are on this case. This 23-year-old woman, Miss Johnson, was just gunned down by her boyfriend 15 times in the back outside of her home. She broke up with him 2 weeks prior. He kept calling her and texting her. She did not return the phone calls or texts. So he came over to her house when she was leaving for work that morning and took her out of here. And he said if he could do it again, he would. Only thing he would do different, he would have took out her father too. She had a good father that was there with her, watching her and helping her succeed for her goals. And that boyfriend hated that. All right, so feel free to call in. Let's continue to go. Calling from 702. You're live on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Gigi.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. Want to say, you know, I don't know where to begin. When I heard Leah Gordone's voice, I became familiar with that this year because a very close family member of mine was murdered by a man while she was attempting to leave his home. He tried to play it at the court to the police and did a standoff and everything. Well, she was placing me in danger. I had my baby mama in the house. It was a hot mess. She was just living with him, had just been living with him. But I don't want to go into all of that. She weighed 100 pounds soaking wet with rocks in her pocket. And yet he said she yielded a threat to him. He put a red beam on her chest while she was driving, pulling out backwards out of his driveway. And he killed her, murdered her. This is our first Christmas without her.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I am sorry to hear about the other young lady's family. But when I hear Leah Gordone's voice, I find myself checking her page regularly now because this is happening. This is a pandemic. This is an epidemic, pandemic, plandemic. It's happening way too much. And by the way, that man was let out on bail of $250,000.
Kitty, you gotta be kidding me.
I kid you not.
What state is this in?
$250,000. He's at home with his feet kicked up.
What state?
We're in Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mm.
And if he's within the sound of my voice, we will not let this go. We will be there at every trial date, court date that you have, sir, ma'am, whatever you are or wish to be. We're going to be right there.
Mm.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of going to Leah Gordone's page and seeing young black women being murdered for no reason. No reason. Little to no reason. Used to be these men didn't care nothing about us. They'd use us and throw us away. Now they want to kill us. They want to kill us. They want us dead. And I'm not saying that to all black men, but there are quite a few. And these stories are happening way too frequently. But, sir, if you're in the sound of my voice, we will be there every time your court date rings. We will be there in full force because we're going to get justice for our baby. Do you understand that? We're going to get justice. We turn out in huge numbers. For everything, we follow the case. The DA, the prosecuting attorney, we will be there. You're not going to just treat her like she was trash. She had everything going for her. Her looks, her beauty, her brains, her own business, no children. She was our shining star. Just taken away from us March of this year. Early March. But I promise you, if people start turning up, stop letting this kind of stuff slide. Start arming yourself, ladies. There is a full-fledged war on us. I kid you not. Go to Leah Gordone's page on YouTube, and you will see that we are being murdered in numbers, huge numbers. Some cases don't even make the airwaves. They just get swept on. If my family member hadn't been so beautiful and just outgoing personality, she was a huge star on TikTok. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that about her. She didn't think her old family member here wouldn't be too interested in that. But I would have been, and I'm so proud of her. And that was one of my last conversations with her, that how proud of her I was. She took something and did something with her life, and he took it from her. These kangs, as you call them, and that's what they call them. Honey, I'm scared to date. I'm scared. I had a situation when I was young. Man burnt me out of my house and home and could have almost snatched me in the house and murdered me. And no one would have known the difference. No one would have known. But I promise you this, we will be there. Our family will be there. Some of us ain't speaking to one another. Don't care. We still gonna be there for her. We're gonna be there for her.
I'm glad you guys will. And I hope you guys will never let up, because that's what they're hoping you do.
Oh, no. If it's just me by myself with a picket sign outside that courthouse, I will be there. I will be in their faces, on their backs. I call the DA's office frequently. They know me by name.
And you know what's just so scary to me? That same man can look her in the eye and say, I love you, I care about you, I want to protect you. Mm-hmm. And if you look in the future, this is the same man that's going to end you.
That's such a chilling thought. But yes, this is the same person that could wind up ending you.
The person you sleeping with at night. The person you're vulnerable to. The person you open up to.
Mm-hmm. Called sleeping with the enemy. That's bottom line. We are sleeping with our own enemy.
Yep, or you can say it, sleeping with your killer.
There you go. We sleep with our own murderers. We lay right next to them. We pray over them at night. We encourage them. We build them up. They kill. They kill them. They're killing us. They're killing us.
Well, I thank you so much.
I'm so tired of.
Go ahead.
I'm tired of going to Leah Gordone's page. I love how educated she is, but she's I'm going there for the wrong reason. We're going there to see what new woman, black woman, has been murdered.
Well, if it wasn't for Leah, we wouldn't hear shit. We wouldn't hear nothing, because you don't see no other news outlets that's speaking on it.
There you go.
They ain't speaking on it, and they ain't going to speak on it.
You're right about that. Our families are so fractionated. We need to pull together. We are so fractionated, and no one, the family unit ain't together. We are easy target. We're easy. We're easy. And they know that. And they know that. Our killers and the people who stand by and who will sit quietly and let it happen to us. They know that about us. We ain't got no protectors. We ain't got no friends out here. We ain't got no friends. Ain't no friends to the black woman. Even black women are killing black women. There's a story on Leah Gordone about a lesbian couple. She stalked that girl. That girl had children. She's doing well for herself in life. She wanted to move on. So you can't just say, I'll date women. The women are crazy too.
Well, I think it's time to reconstruct these relationships. And relationship does not mean possession. And you don't go into relationship trying to find who you are. You don't go in a relationship for validation. No. And you don't go in a relationship if you have not done the work to discover who you are and to love who you are first.
It starts there. It starts there.
Mm-hmm. But I thank you so much for calling. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please call us back again. All right, we're going to let her go. Calling from 931. You are live on the air.
Hi, Gigi. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm well. I just wanted to kind of touch base on a couple of things that two of your callers have called in and said.
Mm-hmm.
The lady that just spoke, we do have to make black women more aware of what's going on in society, like how we advocate for depression or domestic violence and mental illnesses. The gentleman that called in earlier, there are women out there that actually does want, like he said, a man that's going to fight them. I too thought it was unheard of until I befriended someone that moved many miles away from home. She's been still an individual for quite some time, and she always calling and telling me, I want to leave them. I want to do better. And she wants to just prevail overall. But she allows herself to remain stagnant because he is hindering her when she's supposed to be at work, go to the grocery store to feed her children or whatever. She'll call and say, I got to go back home and deal with mess. Why put yourself in that situation? And then they go home and fight like cats and dogs. She'll be all on social media using her platform in the wrong way to show her bruises and laugh about it. So when if something happens, yes, the family's going to fight and they're going to want to receive justice, but you're going to have that same group of people that's not going to take her serious easily because she makes a joke out of it now. And she, too, will tell you, I need a man that's going to handle me because I'm going to get right in here with mine. Being in a relationship is
I want to just stop and just say something with that. You may have a small percentage that fiend for that, and because they need help. Mentally, they're not all there to want somebody to harm you and to validate they care about you. It's really backwards and perverted. But I will say that they ask for that. It's consent. Even though it's still illegal, I don't care. If they ask for it and a man put pause on them, that is still illegal. They are in America. We have laws. So I don't care what she wanted. It's illegal. And that's just the end of story. And that man, if you're in a relationship with a woman that's asking you to put pause on her, just know it is illegal. You are in America. Maybe you need to go to a different country and y'all need to move together and have at it. But it is illegal. And, if she's asking for consent for that, that's horrible. And shit, she need to be locked up too. But to the other women that are not asking for that and have not consent with that. We cannot mix the two up. I cannot justify, well, the reason why these men are putting pause on these women because we have a few women over here that's asking for it. What are them hoes asking for it? Majority of these women are not asking for it. So that should never be in the conversation when we're talking about these girls are getting murked day and night and don't have that fetish. I don't understand how we can have that conversation and then somebody will want to bring up, well, some of them ask for it. This not the case. This is not the case. But continue on.
I totally agree with what you said, and I just wanted to put that out there that it does happen. And I try to tell her all the time, look, this ain't love. Love is not supposed to hurt. You're going to continue to go through this same vicious cycle you're going through because you're not doing anything about it. And you need to do something about it before it's too late. So to answer the question that you asked at the beginning of this conversation, should you make this a topic up for discussion? I think that we need to, because there are, like you said, two different classes. One think it's okay and they need it and want it. That's the way a relationship is supposed to happen. And then you have the women like us that has a backbone that's going to stand on their own and push through and prevail for themselves, not allow a man to have them remaining stagnant or wanting not to be a worker of any sort out there in America. I don't want to sit at home and say, oh, well, I'm supposed to cook and clean and iron clothes, and you go to work and make the money and pay the bills. No, it's not like that anymore. Times has changed tremendously. And we as women, in the beginning of this, what has tall tale signs of it could possibly be an abusive relationship. We have to notice the signs early on. We can't say, oh, well, yeah, he did that one time and, I just blew it off. Or, yeah, I did what he said because I didn't want to hear him arguing. I didn't want to fuss with him later. No, you see those signs, pay attention. My grandma used to tell me when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Women has to do the same thing. When these men, these narcissistic men, comes out with all their characteristics while you're still learning him and trying to get to know who he is as a person, when you see the signs, turn away before it's too late. We don't want it to be our family is left having to carry on our memory or make others aware of these ill intent killings, nor do we want to hear, or nor do I want to hear it from an individual that experienced it and say, get out while you still have time. We as a people need to make women, black women in particular, more aware of, if you see these signs, turn away, because this could possibly be your fate. No one wants that. And people are using the guns in the wrong, or the pow-pows, the wrong way. People get their hands on them and say, oh, I'm going to show her. Or, yeah, my boy, I ain't going to let her disrespect me in front of my boy. It's nonsense.
And I would just say, take it a step further. If he does something illegal, report it. Report it.
Immediately.
Report it. Have it on report. And make sure when you're dating and talking to these men, know their full name. Get that ID. Take a picture of that ID if you can.
And leave your location on your phone so they can find you.
All right. Well,
so
I thank you.
I just wanted to really speak on that, and I thank you, and I hope you and the party crashers enjoy what's left of
Aw, thank you, babe. Appreciate you. All right, we're going to let her go. Can we please get these likes up? If you want me to continue to talk about these type of topics, let me know. Let me know that these topics are supported by your likes, by your comments, and by your shares, and your phone calls, and your engagement. Calling from 937, you're live on the air.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. So I've listened to your your podcast a few times, and I wanted to call in, but I was kind of prompted to go ahead and call in today, and I did want to give condolences to the young lady that lost her life and everybody else that has been talking today. I also lost my brother as well recently, so this is the first Christmas without him. So, yes. What I wanted to say is that I feel like there is a public acceptance of disrespect for Black women. I can't go on comments when I'm looking at videos. I can't go on a comment without, it'll be something totally unrelated to a Black woman. And then, they'll say, oh, a monkey this or monkey that, or just like a Black woman this or that. I think it's very, it's accepted for a Black woman to be put down. It's like we're put in like this certain category, and it's, no, they don't respect us. I see it in different avenues of life. I've seen it throughout my life. I use my life as like a case study. I see it in the workplace. Black women aren't respected in the workplace. Even in our own home, dealing with these men, it's just sad. And then, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But recently, someone was, I was talking to someone, and it's like even the Harriet Tubman thing. It's just like I just had people get really upset about it, saying it didn't happen and things of that nature. I don't care if it happened or not. It's just like anything that's positive that has to do with a Black woman, it's like they don't want anything to do with it. But if you're on a video doing something crazy with your tail out or doing something like that, that's accepted, or that's lit, or that's cute, or that's funny. I just feel like it's a big, I don't want to be long-winded, but it's just a big thing about disrespect with women. I've seen a lot of things, men fighting women running out of their house right in my neighborhood, and it's sad, and I've had my own issues as well. But, like, I see a lot of things going on where, these men are just very disrespectful towards us, and it's disheartening, it hurts, and then we have to raise these children. These children are watching this. And, these young Black boys are watching this, and you keep putting Black women on the lowest realm of everything and talking about Black women so bad. Of course they don't respect us. And, it's nothing to kill us. And so, that's all I wanted to say. I just want, any man that's listening to just please just take a look at what you're doing when you're dealing with women and these children that are watching. If you cussing out a woman and it's a child sitting there, or you in your neighborhood and y'all fighting like cats and dogs, and all the children in the neighborhood can see this, please just start looking at it like the children, because they're gonna be the ones that's gonna do something to you, or somebody that you love, because they're not being raised right. Children outside, banging on something all day long because they don't have anything to play with, or mama done left, or mama in the house smoking crack. It's like, I'm seeing so much, and it hurts me, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to say a plea to our people to start loving each other a little bit more. We all losing people. We only have a short time here on earth. We need to make some type of, and then it's another thing too with the poverty. A lot of this stuff is poverty. They don't want to give us any reparations, things of that nature. I mean, they need to give something just to single Black women. And I mean, and a lot of times people say, oh, they don't want a handout and things of that nature. No, we need some help, because we're always the ones that need to be so strong about everything. We don't have nothing. And a lot of us do. I mean, there are some Black women that are doing good, but come on, let's be real. There's a large percentage of single Black women. We ain't doing that good, and they know that, and they just want to keep us working these menial jobs, making less than men. A lot of times we working harder than a lot of the men on these jobs, and I just think it just needs to be a little bit more respect for the Black woman. And we always taking care of somebody. We taking care of these kids. We always taking care of somebody. Somebody can always come to us, but we can't go to nobody. So I just wanted to say that.
Ooh, girl, you said a lot. Ooh, can I chime in on a few things that you pointed out? Now, the first thing that popped in my mind, you said Black women need more government assistance, right?
Yeah, well, I think we need reparations, to be honest with you.
Well, that's still the government, isn't it? Who gonna give it to you? The government, right?
Well, yeah, somebody needs
I
to.
mean, come on, let's just talk about it. Okay, if you want somebody to give you the money, it got to come from somewhere. Do you want America to give it to you?
I want us to be able to get it some kind of way. Yeah, they should. You want to know
you
why?
got to
Because
pick one. I'm confused. Where the money? Okay, you say you want reparations. Where do you want it from?
Okay, well, it can come from the government. They have it to give to everyone else.
Okay,
You
but
know,
where
a
do
lot
you
of other.
expect it from? That's all I'm asking. If not
Well,
the
I expect
government,
it
then
from the
who?
government. I do. I expect it from them. Then yes,
Okay,
I can say
so
them.
you want government assistance for black women
Not
only,
assistance.
right?
Well, yes, yeah. I think there needs to be some type. What I'm saying is not government assist. I guess you. I guess I didn't want to put it that way, but there needs to be something because there's just a disrespect. It's like we're not respected. Like, I don't know if I'm putting it right. I hope I'm reaching somebody, but it just seems like, we're just.
You want government to
known as the worst.
give black women more money.
I do.
Okay. Well, the black men don't like that. They feel that, and who cares what they feel, but who cares what they feel? That's a question. But it's a whole bunch of black women that definitely care how the black kings feel. And they are still putting black kings first. Majority of them are still concerned about their black kings because they have a lot of black sons as well. So that is very a conflict. But the black kings, I heard their argument. Their argument is when government and government assistance give single black women money, they're breaking up the black family home. That has always been their argument, and they don't like it. They feel that, okay, well, it's no sense of a man being in the home if she gonna get the money from the damn government. Their sense of being a
let's
provider.
say black people, period, then.
Huh?
Well, let's say black people, period.
Come
then,
on now.
because
This is what I want you to do. I want you to stand on that motherfucker. Whatever you feel, you can't keep changing the goalpost. When you change the goalpost, they gonna see, oh, okay, she ain't serious. We can get her to change to remove her out her goddamn deal. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to bring that thought up.
I just want us all to have something. I mean, I want us all to have something. I mean, I'm not a person that is like, give something to just this one group, but I mean, it seems like we need some type of help somewhere because something is wrong.
Well, you're going to have people coming up against that, and they say, well, that's the problem. Black people depend on the government too damn much. They can never fend for themselves because the government is always giving out handouts, and that's what the Republicans argue about. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and also you made a comment that I wanted to touch on. What you say? You said, I guess you were comparing generations and saying black men. Do you feel like black men respected black women in the past better?
I think the family unit was different because I know we definitely heard stories about, the man ran the household.
Well, the black women didn't have a choice.
Right, absolutely.
If a black man put paws on a black woman, who the hell she gonna call? They ain't gonna do shit.
Nobody.
Women didn't have no rights. Kids didn't have no rights. So of course everything was one-sided. But the disrespect has always been there. Shit, that's disrespectful in itself. That a woman can't go out to have her own house, own education, anything. That's disrespect for themselves. What a woman need education for? She ain't smart. She not going to be able to comprehend. Only thing she good is lay on her back, pop them babies, and cook my meals. If that's not disrespect, is that's not demeaning and degrading? So the disrespect has always been there. I think it's this idea of, oh my God, the disrespect just started yesterday. No, it's always been there, just in different forms.
No, but I think I see it more now. Because of this crazy internet, I think I see it more now. It's just like
You think social media exposes it more?
I think so, because I just see it too much. It's just like, dang, that didn't have anything to do with a black woman. And it's just like, it'd be like, dang, it's hurtful too. Like, this is...
What I think it is, I think that the difference is people are having freedom to think for themselves. In the past, you only had one media outlet that was pushing agenda. And with humans, if you talk to them a certain way, if you package it, if you sell it, if you market eating shit is good for you, then guess what? Eating
Right.
shit is real good for you. It's very healthy. Look at all the benefits.
Right.
So in the past, they pushed an agenda that everybody was singing the same tune, that this is good.
Right.
This is the common good. This is tradition. And people ate it up. And if you thought differently, something was wrong with you. Now you have more outlets with different variety of thinking. And I think that you discover a lot of different things now, and that's just my opinion on it. But I definitely appreciate you for calling. You brought up some interesting topics that I would love to get into on another time, but I appreciate you. We're gonna let you go. Let us know in the comment section, are you enjoying these type of topics? If you are, please like that like button. Please press the 2 if you like these type of topics. All right, let's continue on. Calling from 702, you're live on the air.
Yo, first of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. How you doing?
Merry Christmas.
Well, I'm a black man who has been raised by his mother. And there's a lot of different things that I see when I was growing up that raised me. Because I have 2 sisters as well, grandmothers, aunts. And a lot of things that I've seen growing up that raised me differently from a lot of other men, that I'm not going to be putting my hands or fighting with a woman. I will walk away, and I don't care what the situation is. The first thing I'm not going to do is put my hands on you. However, I'm also in these streets. I've been around black men my entire life. And what this lady was saying is kind of true, that, or what you said, Gigi, was kind of true, that a lot of these black men are kind of jealous because of what we have, colonization. The black women have invested in colonization. They have to, because they don't have nobody helping them with these kids. Like, I didn't know my father. I may have met him once. So my mother had to do all that by herself. It's me and my 2 sisters. So when I look at it, what you're saying is kind of true as well. It's like they want black women to be enslaved by them, or to be in slavery. And that doesn't make sense to me, but it's like, I own you, you mine. And I'm like, yo, I say this all the time to black men. I'm like, yo, she's not a slave, though. She's a black woman. She's not a slave. And black women got to start having a little bit more, we have to start pushing them to the forefront a little bit more. Because if anybody reads any statistics, the leading scholars in this country right now are black women. They're going to school, they're getting their degrees, and the most important thing is America is implementing them into society, which has not really happened to regular black men. Now, you might get your Michael Jacksons, your Muhammad Ali's, your Magic Johnsons. All these black men are being implemented into society, but regular black men aren't doing that. And then they're not getting the jobs that they could feel like being a man about, because they didn't do the work when they were in middle school and high school and then going further into college. They didn't do that work. So now, as they're getting older, they're more angry. Not only are they more angry, but they're mentally moving backwards, or they're standing still while America is moving forward. And I tell these men, because I pledged for fraternity in 1975, 76. And I tell all these little kids, you can't worry about color. You have to go to school and get you a degree. And a lot of these black men will say, well, college ain't for everybody. But that's where they are wrong, because they're still in a high school frame of mind. because college takes you out of a high school frame of mind. And that's where we need to be today. We need to get these black men out of a high school frame of mind. You got grown ass people like still talking about gangbanging, and they 54 years old. Like, what are you talking about? And then I had to stop because I don't need them pulling no gun on me. But I asked him, I said, bro, that was when you was 12 when you joined the gang. Why are you still talking about that shit at 54? So, excuse my language. So, the point I'm making is, if black women need to read this book called Man, Child, and the Promised Land, because that's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with a man-child in America. America don't give a damn about the black man, except if he does like Obama did. You get your degree, they will respect you. But if you don't get you don't have no type of paperwork that shows that you're maturing and moving forward and you're a positive contribution to society, they're not going to do nothing for you. And if they're not going to do nothing for you, it's going to become frustrating trying to move forward in America. And then you get in a relationship with a woman, a sister, and she's like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to do my thing. And they get mad at you trying to help, or the way you speak to that man. Oh, man, you talking to me like I'm a little kid. Well, hold on. First of all, you've been acting like you still in junior high school. But she can't say that because that turns into a fight. And my daughter passed away in 2019.
Sorry to hear that.
And I don't know the circumstances of it, but my grandson said that, well, she had sleep apnea and this other thing where she falls asleep. Like, we be talking on the phone for hours, and if I don't hear her talking no more, I know she fell asleep on the phone call. I just hang up. And she fell off the bed, hit her head. And her grandsons woke her up, put her back in the bed. And then when they got up in the morning, she didn't wake up. And they called me. I had to fly back out to New York. And it pains me because nobody, I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong to my daughter. However, I have 3 daughters. I love them so much that when I look at the way men come at these women, and then I check them, because I still got squabbles. I will check you if it's that disrespectful. But when I look at it like on TV or social media and on the news, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these men? And the only thing I can think of is that they're mentally unstable or mentally stagnated in America. And that alone can frustrate somebody and turn them crazy, because America is like the #1 country. We got everything here that's luxurious to everybody. But everybody is not privy to it because they didn't do what they needed to do to receive that luxurious spot or the luxury items. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get black men when they're young. Like we mentor kids. Like, I've been mentoring kids since I was 14, 15. I was a counselor, summer counselor. Before that, I was a company commander with the cadets. Before that, I was in the Cub Scouts. So my point is, we got to start getting them when they're younger, because that's where you put the drop of compassion into their life. And once you put that drop of compassion into them, it's not going anywhere. They're not, no matter what you try to talk them into doing, one thing they're not going to do is kill somebody. And we don't need them still killing black women, because if it wasn't for black women coming out of the 50s this race would not be where it is today. People don't understand that, and men don't want to hear it. But it ain't shit you can do to me, because if you see me on the street and I heard what you said about the black man, shut up, pow. I'll slap the shit out you because
Okay,
I'm
we
not gonna
can't
take it.
say
I'm not
that
no
on the
black
air about,
Oh, my bad, my
Yeah.
bad, my bad.
Hopefully it would never get
I'm
to
not,
that, but we definitely understand everything that you're saying. And we thank you so much for your voice and for you, telling us everything in the book. And we are so sorry for your loss. All right, we're going to let you go at this time. All right. So how you guys doing? And just to piggyback on the point that he also was talking about, and this is what I think, from listening to a lot of black men, they feel like this, in my opinion, okay, that if the government stopped giving money to single black women, stop giving them government assistance, then that will make black women pick a better man. Because then they're going to have to struggle all by themselves, and they're going to feel that struggle. And that struggle going to make them say, you know what, I'm not going to open my legs for anybody because I ain't going to have no help. So therefore, they're going to start picking better men. But they feel like they cannot pick better men if the government keeps on funding them to have all these children with no father in the home. That's what I heard, okay? Hey, but have y'all heard that theories too? Comment, let us know. But let's continue on. Calling from 757. You're live on the air.
Hey, Miss Gigi, can you hear me good?
Yes, I can. Talk to me.
I got you locked in my phone as my Gigi because I have been on we role played before.
Thank you.
With the Shanquella Robinson. So I just wanted to say, I listened to the guy way back that was talking about how his girlfriend got shot. And I just wanted to start off with a quote that true healing is recognizing your role in whatever the problem is. And I'm going to talk about my story really quick because I need everybody's advice. I'm married, and my husband has, I make almost $200,000 a year. I was in the military, retired. And as I was climbing up this road to success, my husband began to get jealous of my role. When I got my house built, anything that I got doesn't have his name on it. I bought him a Porsche, and he threatened to throw that car into a lake somewhere. He said that if I, plenty of times I wanted to leave him, and he threatened me. He said that if I left him, you sure you want to leave someone to someone who ain't got nothing to lose? He's punched me in my face back in January, got locked up. And this is where I mean by how I got to pay attention to my role, because I eventually let him come back, knowing that I had a protective order, all these things. And he has threatened me now. I started getting sick with my stomach whenever he's around. And when he would leave, I would start getting better. So my friends, the family and friends started saying, hey, I think you need to get checked out because I think he's poisoning you. Now I own a motorcycle. My uncle was a famous motorcycle rider. And so I have a motorcycle. It's brand new. I hardly rode it. But all of a sudden, the cap on my brake fluid started to be really loose and things like that. And so he used to steal from me, anything to get attention so he could come back in the house that I bought. I'm at the point now that if I let him back in, I am a pow owner. I won't say the word, I'm a pow owner. And I have a concealed weapon license. But what I'm scared of is I don't want to put myself in a predicament where, one, to take someone else's life, because I will lose everything I worked so hard for. But at the same time, now that I drew my boundaries, now that I've gotten stronger, now that both of my kids are grown, I've gotten stronger and dealing with this, my question that maybe you can help me with or the world can help me with, I finally decided to leave him alone permanently, and I'm married to this man. Now, I've heard everybody else talk about that's their boyfriend or whatever. But I actually am married to this man. But this man has constantly, as a narcissist, he's constantly made me feel like it's my fault. And I'm sorry. He made me feel like that, he kept saying, I need you. And then I would let him back in my life just for him to steal from me and to, I'll be his sugar mama. So finally, and it's my fault. It's my fault because I kept letting him come back in. It's my fault because I knew ahead of time these red flags. But sometimes when you want what you want, you try, your mind try to tell the heart to do something, but your heart doesn't comply. And so I know you like the fact that I had good energy before, but I'm still alive right now, all because I decided to finally leave and never go back. And that's the boundary I set now. He talks about me bad to everybody. I'm the worst person on the planet, and I'm the person he kept biting the hand that feeds them. I just wanted to say to everybody, if you have a chance to get out of it, get out while you can. That's all I have.
I thank you so much for opening up and sharing with us what you're going through. I know it's not easy for you to be so vulnerable to us, but I thank you, and hopefully it'll help you a little bit with expressing how you feel out loud, because that's healing in that. And by you telling your story, you have helped so many people out here that's listening that don't have the courage to speak out or to call in, So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I just want to say one more thing. I have a very best friend, and I'll say her name again because I said it one time before. Her name is Natalia, and she has helped me to realize to stop beating myself up of the decisions. The decision is already made. Now let's figure out how. I've seen times that he's taken a whole bottle of tramadol and said if I leave him, he would kill himself. So that was entrapment. And I stayed with him. Before I got my house built, I had got what you call a postnuptial because he said that he would take me for half of what I own. So I actually got a postnuptial agreement, went to the lawyer's office, and he said, well, how do I know that if I'm not going to sign it, how do I know you're not going to leave me anyway? I said, if you don't sign it, I'm going to turn this into a divorce like right now. So he wound up signing it. So he doesn't have no rights to my home, my money, anything like that. But I stayed with him because I loved him. I kept feeling like I could fix him. And just a shout out to everybody, you can't fix these people. These people are, for 6 years, he never paid no rent, no bills, no nothing. Literally to the dollar menu on McDonald's, I done paid for his food for that. I done paid for his teeth. He had got all his teeth taken out. I had to pay for all these things. I'm nobody's sugar mama. But I know that I'm gonna be alone. I've never really been alone before, but I'm a be alone. I know I deserve better, and I just ask you all to pray for me. That's it.
All right, we definitely will pray for you. All right, we're gonna let her go. And it got me to think in her conversation. Do you think that people get it confused or get the words mixed up when it comes to supporting your spouse versus fixing your spouse? Comment, let us know. Do you think that supporting your spouse versus fixing your spouse, people are getting that confused? Press 1 if you feel like people are mix matching the two. Press 3 if you feel like no, people know the difference and it's different. It's a big difference, But yeah, supporting is you already got a business establishment, I'm just supporting, you a little bit. Not, you don't got shit and I need to help you and fix you up and try to get your business organized and put your LLC together. Nigga, I can't support you if you ain't got nothing for yourself. Come on now. But let's continue on, and I think that'll be an interesting topic to have as well. Supporting versus fixing. All right, let's continue on. Calling from 470. You're live on the air.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, tonight I'm doing fine. I'm glad that you brought this topic up. I was just listening to this story on the internet last night, and it really just bothered me a lot when I heard about what happened to the young lady. Myself, it's been 2 years I haven't dated because the dating scene is getting so scary. You don't know who you're going to meet. They're always nice at the beginning, and then, out of nowhere, they change. And the thing that really brought my awareness of really getting to know who you're dating is when that young lady got killed on live after she broke up. I don't know if you remember that on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I remember it. She got Kate. Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm just so afraid right now to date because you can't tell these guys no. I was watching this one young lady. She was going to the store for her children somewhere in New York. Some guys was trying to talk to her. She told them no. It was 3 or 4 of them. And they followed that girl out of the store, and they beat that girl down just for saying no. So it's real scary out here, and I advise my girls, and I advise my friends, and, and to people that I know, hey, I feel like all women need to carry, because it's getting that serious. And, and I heard y'all speaking on we're not always protected. We're not always protected. I got uncles and, I got cousins, and my car was down last week, and I called one of them to come and help. And, I couldn't get them to even come to help me to see about my car. So if I came into an encounter with a guy, I know they wouldn't come, So it's getting real scary out here. And I'm just glad that you're speaking on this topic. And we really, really, really need to really get to know these guys before we get intimate with them, and even showing them. We got a bad habit of showing guys where we live at. As soon as we start dating them, and I was telling one of my girls, when you start dating somebody, meet them out somewhere. Don't automatically show them where you live at. You got to be safe. So I just wanted to be just get on here and say that we got to start being more smarter, and just really getting to know these guys before we start letting them know everything about us. And that's all I want to say. You have a good night.
Yeah, and I think, I want to touch on what you're saying. You got to figure out what you want to be. Do you want to be a wife? Do you want to be a hoe? Because if you're going to be a hoe, then hoes, they allow a nigga to know where they live at real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because they standards is low. Their standards low, and all they want is some dick anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you got to move accordingly. Right. You got to raise some standards if you want more out of life. If you want more out of these men than just a good time. Now, if that's all you're going for is a good-ass time, then, hey, do what you do.
A lot of these men have mama issues too, and that's another topic. It's the way a lot of these men have been raised. They have mother issues, and they carry that into their relationship. But that's a whole nother topic. But we just really have to be careful. Just really got to be careful. But thank you, and you have a good night.
Thank you. I appreciate you for calling in. All right, can we please get these likes up? Come on, let us know you loving this conversation. Please get the likes up for more real conversations, as some people put it. All right, let's go on to the next caller. Calling from 703. You are live on the air, 703. Hello, 703. 703. All right, we're going to let you go. Calling from 111. You're live on the air.
Hi, how y'all doing tonight?
Hi, how's
it
going?
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Let me put something in everybody's head right now. You can love yourself first. Don't give yourself to everybody. Everybody cannot be your lover, and everybody can't be your friend. You got to love yourself first and be your own self-friend. We rush out here these days from a childhood dream that you think everything is lovely. You got to earn whatever you need in life, meaning that either you're going to go to college or you're going to put forth the money and make your dream happen. You can't dream before a man and knowing that you're not on his level. Sometimes you got to go back and dig in his past and say, let's make this a 90 days situation. Because you can love a man too fast and he can be a killer. But at this time, this man was not her lover. He was her killer. You all got to embrace this right now. This man did not love her, because you can turn around and shoot a person in the back that he had her as something else. And you all got to face these things about men and these other cultures. Who says he's black? Only can say the history that what he is. Okay? We got to know to love any color, but if they can't love you back, why lay down with Rover and get fleas to give birth to another flea? You got to understand.
I think when you look at his belt, it says African American, a black.
He's an African. He's not black. I told you I'm gonna show you the rope. What I'm saying. Those type minds would kill you because he shot in the back. He loved himself. There was something on the table there was not clean. Mom and Daddy got to search for it. But I'm saying again, there was no rush being to love. She loved too easily because she played her mind. You got a lot of men out here play your mind that's not black. You got to read who you with on that driving license, because you can't just give yourself. He had no feelings. He had no heart for her, because if he did, he wouldn't have killed her like that. Love is what love does, but that was something else, and it's got to come out of the dark. He was using her as a shield that you don't understand. She saw love, but he saw her as a shield to kill. It does not get no better than that. He's from Africa. He's not a black man. Even the black men need to step up. I didn't come up this way. I came up with 2 black parents. I can only feel for you all because I never lacked anything. But I can give you my time to understand we need to look at the bigger color, because you don't know what the other culture is and the culture over here, and you black. You cannot blame everything on a black man right now, excuse me, because he's not black. And I need y'all to look into this deep sea. That's the seed was not clean to her. She didn't need to die like this. He had no right to take her life for whatever he was doing, because anytime he was mad and shoot her in the back like that, there was never no love. That was a package deal. And a lot of you women going to have to wake up to this. Either you're going to find out who you're dealing with, where they come from, and what it's about. A shiny car, nice clothes, good smelling cologne to a man don't make him a man, because he would have never murdered her like that. So that's the part of the seed we as black and culture need to sit down to understand. Don't use black women if you don't love them. And a black woman don't use a man if you don't love him. Teach yourself abstinence. You don't have to have sex to get a child, because at the end of the day, the child's going to be punished for something that you lack. You're not loving yourself first. Put love in your own heart. Because once you love the right man to come along, but you still got to get a little education. If you want this guy making $1 million and you wonder how the black slang dictionary went to the white women and they have the millionaires.
Okay. All right. Well,
they sitting at their table.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I got to because we have other callers and we're cutting short on time. But I thank you so much for calling. And let's give a big old thank you to Q93, donated $10. Great topic, Gigi. I'll be calling in 1282. Well, thank you, Q. I'll be looking forward to your call, 1282. I still do not see you up in here, you know, but let's go on to the next caller. Calling from 703. You're alive on the air.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
Okay. Hi. Okay. I just wanted to kind of give more of like a professional talk and let you guys know that rest in peace, first of all, to the young lady. And just hearing all the stories. I want you guys to know that it's none of your fault if you're ever going through domestic violence. It could creep up on us. It could happen to anybody. It doesn't matter your race, your socioeconomic status. But since we're talking about Black women, a lot of the signs are there, and it's kind of hard once you see the sign. But I do have like some tips, ways that you could just kind of maintain your boundaries, and I think you've talked about it a lot here. Just making sure you're not letting a man know where you live right off the bat, not giving him your number, because once someone has your number, they could just search it and they'll know your address, they'll know your last name. He doesn't need to walk you to your car because then he'll know what kind of car you drive. Yeah, so that's just pretty much it. And also just being aware of love bombing. If someone, you met him maybe a week ago and all of a sudden he keeps calling you all the time, he wants to see you. Someone who keeps future faking, telling you things like, I have big plans for us. Just making sure that you're maintaining boundaries. And if you have that gut feeling something is off, just really listen to your gut feeling, even if it's going against the grain. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much. All right. Let her go. All right. So feel free to call in, weigh in if you guys have more to say. We only have a couple of more minutes to go before the phone line will be shut down for tonight. Let's give a big old thank you to Kendra, donating $5. She said, Merry Christmas, Miss Gigi. Thank you. Let's give a big old thank you to Leon, donating $1. Thank you, Leon. All right, so yeah, please like this video. Let us know that you like topics like this. I'm gonna look in the comment section and just to talk to you guys about this case, just to reaffirm. This was about a lady. She's 23 years old. She had her whole dreams ahead of her. Miss Johnson. She was in a relationship with this man, 23, Carlos. He was staying with her for 5 months. She realized, hey, this is not the right man for her. She broke it off. He's been blowing her up ever since, calling her, texting her, kept on calling her, texting her. And a week before, he got a pow pow just for her. So he already had this in his mind. She's not picking up the phone. She's not texting me. She don't want nothing to do with me no more. Then I'm going to take her out of here. I'm taking her out. Now, why did he feel the need to? Who gave him? Was this? Come on now. Was this his first relationship? I don't think this was his first relationship. And he was close to his mom. I'd be wondering, what did his mom tell him, or what did his mom teach him about loving a woman and caring for a woman and not disrespecting women and not putting paws on women and not killing women? Did she teach him any of this? Now, you may say, well, hell, where the father at? I don't know. The father is not in the reports, but his mama is. His mom was the one that told him to go and turn himself in around 10 o'clock, and he did at 10:30 a.m., and he had no remorse for putting 15 pows in that girl's back. He said he'd do it again if he could. And he'd take out the father too. And I'm wondering too, if they was in a relationship for 5 months, I wonder did her father meet his mom? And I'm wondering in this day and age, when you're in a relationship with these people, are y'all in contact with their parents? Like, I don't know. Just got me thinking. Okay, let's go. We got some more callers. Calling from 504. You're live on the air.
Good afternoon, Gigi. How are you?
Good afternoon. How's it going? Talk to me. What are your thoughts about this?
I'm very curious about this. But before I give my thoughts on it, I want to touch on something that you mentioned regarding whether or not the father met the young man. And, it's very unlikely nowadays for a man.
Well, hold on. I got to interrupt you. I believe he did. He knew of him because the father stayed at the house too. I was wondering, did the father meet the boy's mom, the boyfriend mother?
Gotcha.
That's what I was curious about. But go ahead. But your point still stands. So continue with your point.
Yeah, my question would be: at what stage did the father meet this young man in relation to the daughter? Did he meet him at the establishment of a relationship, or did he meet him prior to the establishment of a relationship? That's where the problem comes in. Far too often, young ladies are entering into a relationship with young men and then decide to want to get a vetting from the father or the man in her life, which is ass backwards. This young lady shot somebody, and either shot somebody or shot at somebody. I submitted for the bill of information that was filed on. Let me see. It was filed on 11/20 of 22. She was arrested in Brevard. She has an open case. She had an open case in the 18th.
Okay, who are you talking about? Because I'm lost.
Sha'Dayla Johnson.
Oh, Sha'Dayla, you talk. Okay, so I didn't know this. So you're saying what happened to Miss Johnson?
She had an open case. I'm not sure if the case was disposed or not in Florida, in Brevard County, for shooting somebody, either shooting somebody or shooting at somebody. I'm still trying to get a copy of the bill of information to see exactly what was filed. I'm willing to bet cash money, based on my experiences, that shooting or whatever she was arrested for is in relation to this young man. If you just do a simple search, state of Florida versus Sha'Dayla Ann Johnson, the bones of the case will come up. You won't get everything. It'll give you what judge was over her bond, who was the magistrate judge, etc. I think it's you can view it either in Unicourt. You don't have access to Lexis Law, but I submitted it through Lexis Law to try to get some more information on it. But I'm willing to. She has a violent past. I'm not saying that just because she has a violent past that she deserved this, but she has a violent past, and I'm all but certain that it's going to have something to do with her demise in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Okay, so you're saying this is new information. I have not heard this, so I have to look it up. But according to you, she has a pal. So, some people in my first mind was like, well, damn, why didn't she use her pal on his ass?
I'm not victim blaming. No, and no one deserves to be taken out of here. No, indeed. But when you're in a violent situation, you can't be surprised when violence comes back to you. That's just common sense. You can't expect to play football and not expect to get hit.
Now, somebody said that she could have been covering for him, meaning that he did the pal and she just took the rap.
Gotcha. Well, could have been, but I like to try to go based on what I'm accustomed to seeing. and I just want to know more about it. It's a shame that she lost her life. And it's really a shame that she lost her life to a coward. Any man that pulls a gun on a woman, to me, is a coward, especially if she doesn't have a gun in return. He's a coward. And I'm hoping that wherever he's locked up, they deal with him accordingly. But GIGI, this has been fun. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them. Other than that, I'll listen to the rest of the conversation.
I got a few questions. Well, he kept on blowing her up, calling her and texting her for over 2 weeks. He got a gun just for her. And he said,
in my opinion, based on that behavior, something's mentally wrong with it.
60 seconds.
That is he has some anger issues, well, apparently he has some anger issues if he killed the young lady because of that. But yeah, I mean that's it's sad. There's a similar situation just like it in New Orleans, GIGI, where there's a young lady who was dealing with a crazy ass young man, and the man ended up killing her musician father. He wasn't stable. And unfortunately, the father that lost his life didn't meet this young man until right after she was pregnant.
All right, so if you have any questions for Q, please put them in the comment section below. Q called in kind of late, so the phone lines is shut down. You cannot call
10
in,
seconds.
but you can put your questions here, and I'll read them to him. Somebody says, so when did she first met? When did she first move him in? They said they've been staying together for 5 months. He's been staying at her house for 5 months. Q, do you have any more information about the move-in part?
No, I'm just waiting. I would really love to read whatever. 2 things. I would love to read the police report or any supplementary reports relative to her or anything that he may have explained. But I just want to know more about it. I don't want to make any assumptions. I mean, based on the what she was arrested for, I'm just curious as to whether or not it has any relations.
They feel like you're sympathizing. They feel like you are sympathizing with this black man.
Oh, hell no. No, indeed. I sympathize with no man, especially the man that takes the life of a black woman, at all. But I don't really take sides. I guess when it comes to trying to understand the law and try to understand the case, you know what I'm saying? Because it kind of clouds your judgment. It makes you, it keeps you from reading any further than what's on paper. You know what I'm saying? So, but she didn't deserve to lose her life. Irregardless of what the facts are that surround it, she didn't deserve to lose her life.
Okay, I'm looking here. Walking away. Why shoot her in the back? Why? They said, well, why would he shoot her in the back? Why? 15 times. Why?
I don't know. It goes back there. There's a gentleman that shot a black woman in the back with an AK-47 in New Orleans about maybe 5 or 6 months ago. These men are just. But the sad part about it is, someone is still going to give these idiots time of day.
So now they feel like you're blaming women too, because you're saying they're going to allow a man like that, they're going to entertain him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, they will. And it's sad. And he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve attention from any woman. He only deserves attention from the men that he's going to face when he's locked up.
So the next woman that do take him back, and she said, well, Q, he said that he went to church. He's a changed man. He's not like that anymore.
Yeah. I don't buy that. In my opinion, just from my thought processes, I don't think any woman should even take a phone call, and that includes his mama.
But if she does take the phone calls, and if a woman does get with this man knowing his past, and something happened to her, would you blame her for what he did?
Would I blame her? Well, I could say that she's enabling him. You know, if she's going to hear what he has to say and take his side and be on behalf of him, she's enabling him.
So somebody brought up, you don't believe in reform?
Well, yeah, I believe in reform, of course. But I also believe in, you know, with reform, are you admitting to what you've done? You know, people. There's a side of criminal reform where people are found guilty, and they'll deny what they've done, but then say that they look at life in a different perspective, but they're not admitting to what they've done. If you're not gonna be man enough to admit what you've done, then reform should not even be a part of your conversation.
All right. Well, okay, I'm trying to look at something else. She told him to leave and broke it off. Yeah. So she's 23 and she wanted to leave. And she said it was over. I think she did the right thing in that regards. Do you feel like she did the right thing with breaking it off with him after 5 months?
Yes. I mean, if she, even if it was after 5 days, if she saw something that did not that may have, I mean, she may have saw that this guy was a damn lunatic and decided to break it off.
Do people have rights to leave a marriage or relationship? Do you have a right to leave a relationship or to divorce?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Yes, indeed.
Well, I don't think everybody understands that.
There's nothing that legally binds you to anybody that makes you that puts you in a position where you have to stay. No.
But you know, in the past, it was illegal to divorce. You know, in the past, you know.
Wait, come again?
I said, you know, in the past, it was illegal. It was, you know, to divorce or to leave somebody. It was unheard of. It's like you stuck with them. But that's in the past.
Morally, but legally, I don't know about that, Gigi.
Well, we have to double check that.
Yeah, you got me with that one.
When did divorce come in play?
There are. Pardon?
What year did divorce come into play?
I want to say in the early 1900s. Let me make sure.
When were black people allowed to marry?
Black people were allowed to marry during slavery.
During what year?
During slavery. Prior to 1865. Yeah, prior to 18. I mean, they could not enjoy some of the benefits of being married as slaves, you know, as it relates to properties and successions, but they were allowed to marry.
Okay, so they was allowed to marry, but they were still getting the R word.
Wait, your phone.
I said they were allowed to marry, but they were still getting the R word.
Pretty much.
Now, how did that make sense? Because, you know, married back in the day, it's supposed to be a Christian union. So how the white man just gonna interfere in that? That don't make sense. But
we're talking about a person that has no conscience. Someone who respects the boundaries of someone else's marriage has a conscience. Now, you expecting a man who will enslave another human being to respect someone's sanctity of marriage?
Well, and the kids, they just sell them off, right? They didn't keep the kids.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, so, but I mean, I'm really, really heartbroken about this one, I lie to you not, because I have seen this. I've seen this play out at least personally, not just reading.
Now, somebody, Regina said marriage was not recognized during slavery. See, I'm depending on you to know all the facts, Q.
No. See, they allowed slaves to get married. As I said before, slaves could not enjoy the benefits of being married as it relates to property, successions, or who gets this or who gets that.
So it's not recognized in America. Okay, but that's like saying
benefits.
You can get married here, but we're not gonna recognize it. So what? Anybody, I could just get married to the wall if I wanted to, with that standards. But if America is not going to recognize it, if I'm not going to be equal to everybody else, it's really not no marriage because it's not recognized in my country. So it was not recognized in slavery. That's why they could do and do the R word to those women and do everything else because they didn't value marriage to them because didn't they see them as animals? They didn't even get the chance to get to be human at that time. I don't think. I don't know history by the numbers. I'm expecting you to know way more than I do.
I think. Well, Mount Vernon. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I want to say the very first. The very first union between slaves took place in 1799 that was recognized by that particular sector. But as I said before, they did not. In other words, if you and I got married right now, we have to compare. We have assets that we combine at some point. If you have that and I have this, and we get married, the benefits of us being married is you have access to anything that I leave behind. I have access to anything that you leave behind. See, marriage is primarily a business. We decide to talk about bring love into it, but it's actually a business. Because whenever you get divorced, they don't discuss separating love. They don't discuss separating sex. They separate assets. It's a very shrewd way of looking at it. But that's what it is in the nucleus.
Well,
so if you have two slaves.
That's an interesting point of view. And I apologize for me being random, y'all. And you are right. This is not a history channel. I did that. I apologize. But I just be curious.
Well, GG, our conversations have known to go off the rails. But continue.
But I think that's a good topic. Is marriage better a business than a love affair? Because clearly these love affairs ain't working.
Well, I'll tell you this, and let me make my point, then we can move on. If you have my great grandfather met my great grandmother on two different plantations, the Louisa plantation and the Alice B plantation in Louisiana. You can look them up. They married each other. They had no assets. So I mean, it was just a moral thing there, but they had no benefit. There were no benefits of marrying each other. However, the plantation owners, if they married one another, then they had assets, and so there was a benefit there. In more cases than any, when people got married way back in the day, it was a business move. If anyone ever looked up the German corridor in Louisiana, where a lot of black women were marrying a lot of these German men that came in from different parts of the world, those are business moves that were made in that union. They had nothing to do with love.
Well, can I ask y'all a question? Do you want to marry for love or business? Let us know. Would you prefer love for business? Go ahead, Q.
I'm married for business. I'm not tooting my own horn. I make a lot of money, but I'm very, very foolish with my money. So if I don't put it in my wife's hands, I will go out and buy a $200,000 shoe because I'm very bad with money. So I have to know what my strengths are. And in my opinion, a man doesn't, and some people may not agree with me on this one, a man does not have no business at all dealing with dividing the money that comes into the house. That is a woman's responsibility. I don't give a damn how much money you have. Nobody can outcount a woman. You'll never be able to outsave a woman. You can try, but you can't out-count a woman. You can't out-save a woman. You can't structurally, financially save money better than a woman. No man can.
All right. Well, that's a good question and a good topic. But I guess moving back to Miss Johnson, what other thoughts have come across your mind? How do you feel the father felt seeing his daughter face down with all that blood?
I would be torn apart. Me myself, and I would presume that he felt the same way. That's rough. But my main question is, how much input did the father have in his daughter dealing with this guy?
I don't know, but I'm thinking it was a lot because he was there at the house when this happened. And the guy hated the father, said he wished he would have took the father out too.
Well, I mean, if the father was there, but I'm saying, how much influence did the father have with her dating this guy from the jump?
I don't know.
Were they dating and then she introduced him to the father? Or did he introduce her to the father and the guy sold the father on some bull crap just to date his daughter? So
not sure. Do you think this is the first breakup?
It's heartbreaking. Pardon?
Do you think this is the first breakup Carlos have had? He 23. I'm thinking he been in a few relationships before. Was this like he said, okay, the last girl I'm with, either we're going to stick together or I'm going to end her?
I don't know, G. I really don't.
Now, since you looked up her, did you look up his name and his records? Do he have any past prior?
Yes. Woo! Yes. He has a case out of Broward. Let me see. Hold on. He had a case out of Broward. He had a case out of Brevard. There's two different counties within Florida. He had a hell of an arrest record. Let me see if I can put it back up.
Can you please tell us all of his records in the past, Carlos?
Sorry.
So he's going to get the records, you guys. So can y'all please like this video while he's going to get the records? And let us know if you like this type of conversation. So in the comment section, 59% of you guys say you want to marry for love. And 41% say you want to marry for business. All right? Look like love wins.
To those 59%, there were a lot of women trapped on top of houses for Hurricane Katrina because they was in love. Just think about that for a little bit.
All right, so why didn't Nicola lead with that? I don't know, Regina. They said, why didn't you lead with Carlos' record?
Well, because when I put in Sha'Dayla's information to read about her murder, her being caged, the very first thing that came up was her case. So once I looked into her case, that's when I was able to see that. But so yes, he has Carlos Lamont Jones is his name. He has 14 arrests, but they don't say what the arrests are for.
14 arrests?
Yes.
14 arrests. Okay, listen, y'all. Y'all need to get these names and look them up. 14 arrests. I can't believe it. What he did? 14? That's a lot of times going to the jail cell.
And I think the reason why they showed a lot about her case is because her case actually went a lot further than any of his arrests has went. There's a lot of crap on this dude. Jesus.
Well, we waiting. All right. Well, like this video.
Yeah.
Please like the video. You ready, Q?
Yes. It's just not giving. It's just saying how many times he's been arrested. It's not even telling me how many. What is the time span? You know, some of it can be juvenile, some of it can be as an adult. But it's not telling me the time span as to what the arrests are.
So we don't know if it was
That's
from
weird.
stealing or putting paws on people. Nothing.
Right.
Well, that's
But you know
sad
what? I want to know
news.
I want to know exactly what he was charged with, because if he was charged with taking her out, and I'm curious as to whether or not he had a weapons violation. Because if he had a weapons violation, that means that he was a convicted felon. If he was also charged with illegal possession of a firearm, then that means that he was either the firearm was stolen, or he is a convicted felon. He's not supposed to have a gun.
They said, where can they find this at? What website are you on, and what's your source?
I'm on Lexus Law.
You guys heard that?
You have to have a bar number. You have to have a bar number to get into Lexus Law. But I'm looking at these other things. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, Kendra said 14 arrests at only 23. Yep. That's what it looked like.
That's light in Louisiana. Louisiana and Florida. Louisiana, I can't say the same about Texas, but in Louisiana and in Florida, that's light, especially for someone who has someone who's been, because that's the very first thing to look for is their arrest record once they've been arrested. But I'm just shocked that it's never mentioned this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to read here.
Well, I wonder, you guys, why do they keep on putting these people on the streets? Because all they're doing is keep on repeating. Unless you guys are voting to keep them off, in the streets. Is that how you guys are voting, to keep these criminals in the streets? It need to be a little bit, I don't know. I talked to some people around my neighborhood, and I said, need to be more tough on the crime. And they said, well, we trying to get Trump. They said Trump is the biggest criminal there is. They said, worry about him first.
I'm continuing to read as you talk, Gigi, but continue.
All right. People are saying the justice system is broken. They help out.
You know what's needed? I'm gonna tell you what's needed. And I have a very good friend of mine who runs a bail bond company, and what we find is that you have people that are going to jail, they're bonding out, and they commit other crimes while they're out on bond. Namely speaking, the police officer from New Orleans that was killed in Houston, the two gentlemen that was involved in his taking him out had been released on 2 separate bonds. His name is Detective Everett Briscoe. If anyone ever looks at that case, those guys were out on bond for the exact same thing that they were doing to him, and they killed him. I think what's needed, they need an accomplice law, something that punishes someone who bonds somebody out of jail, and that person commits another crime. I think that the person who bonds them out of jail should have to face some type of criminal penalty. And that will kind of ease up on just, people being out on the streets, making bond after bond after bond, and they continue to commit crimes.
That sounds great. So you heard it, the new law. You guys need to talk to your congressman, talk to your mayors, talk to whoever you need to talk to, and say, here's the deal. Whoever bond these criminals out and they do another crime, the person that bond them out the first time is going to have to pay with some time. Not no money, because we know they got a whole bunch of money. They need to do some time.
You know who are the number one victims of someone being let out on an additional bond? Women. Because what happens is you have men that will go to jail for a domestic violence situation, the mother or sister or somebody will bond them out, and then they will go back and home that woman. They are the number one victims of someone being let out on a second or subsequent bond. And it mainly happens in domestic violence cases.
I didn't know that. What do you guys think about that? He said that women are the ones that's bonding these criminals out. Do y'all think that is true? Comment, let us know. Is the mammies doing that? And I seen somebody say, Trump, vote for Trump. You must want criminals to run this country. What he did on January the 6th is unforgivable. Crime, crime, crime. He does a lot of criminal activities. Nah, we trying to get away, criminals, man. What you doing? But anyway, did you find it yet?
I'm thinking that those arrests probably came when he was a juvenile. Otherwise, if they use those arrests as an adult, it would be named. I think that's the way Florida and most of your southern states are set up. They don't tend to hold they don't tend to hold adults responsible for their juvenile record unless they're being charged as an adult. Does that make any sense?
It makes sense, but I disagree with that. I want to see. I think the juvenile records plays a lot to the adulthood. I think that your upbringing and who you are as a child and choices you make, it plays a part on how you are as an adult. Yeah. I want to see it all.
As a juvenile, your case does not make public record for full disclosure unless you're actually charged as an adult. That's why in most cases, especially in Louisiana, I'm not sure how it is in Florida. I think it is the same in Florida as it is in Texas. They cannot use your juvenile record to enhance any penalty or punishment unless you're being charged with any of those crimes as an adult. They separate them. That's why whenever a juvenile is arrested, even if a juvenile commits a murder or commits an M-murder, unless they're going to charge him as an adult, they never release the name or the face. Have you noticed that?
Nope, I didn't never looked into it, so I don't know.
Yeah, whenever a juvenile is arrested for a crime, his name is not made public until he's charged as an adult.
All right.
So if you go in, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Wait, someone said I feel like he's blaming the young lady for her death. No, I'll say it again. Unless you just want me to blame her, I'll say it again. No one deserves to have their life taken. Now, I think that this could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. Somebody should have stepped in. She should have been protected. And the guy was wrong. He should serve. Actually, he's in Florida. He should get the death penalty if it's still available in Florida.
All right, Q. Well, I thank you so much for calling in and chiming in. You always appreciate it. I thank you so much.
Regina Interiors, if you have a bar number, ma'am, if you have a bar number in any state, then you can go into Lexus Law and look at those cases. But it's not going to give you the everything relative to the case because he was charged. Based on what I understand, he was charged as a juvenile. Juvenile records are not made public unless that person is being charged as an adult. So, in the words of Hunter Tia, bye.
All right.
Catch his later, Q. So, all right.
All right. Thank you.
But don't take my word for it. Look it up.
All right. We're going to let you go, Q. All right. Well, that is the end of the show. I appreciate you all. Please like this video if you like more topics like this. If you want to see more and hear topics of this matter and hear real conversations to different degrees, please like this video. Please comment and share so we know to keep this track going in 2023, because you guys know it's only a couple of weeks and we are in a whole new year. Yeah, what we gonna do for the New Year's? New Year's resolution? Do you guys want to have a New Year party? Will you guys call in and let us know the things you want to stop doing in the past and the things you plan on doing in 2023? Do y'all think that'll be interesting? Press 15 if you would like that for the New Year's Eve. We can do a call-in show. Call in, let us know the stuff you did horrible this year and you want to stop doing it, whatever it is. If it's being a hoe, you want to stop being a hoe. 2023, you want to start looking for marriage. I don't know. Okay, in 20, one of mine is this year I was real bad with eating fast food. You know what I'm saying? And I always complain about customer service and the food's so nasty. In 2023, I want to start cooking every day, all day. Like anything I'm eating, I cook it. You understand? And I want to start going to better grocery stores like Trader Joe's and leave these other grocery stores alone. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one of many. All right, we checking backgrounds and getting y'all money in 2023. Yeah, I need to stop eating. Yeah, that eating out. All right, well, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on another video. DJ, take me on out of here. DJ, take it from the top.